say, and the Lord spoke unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus say the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Moses, go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go, that they may serve me. Many times we stop at let my people go. We don't go on to the last part of the verse, that they may serve me. The word serve has so many meanings. But there are two meanings that I picked out. To serve means to meet my needs. I don't think that God instructed Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let his people go so that they may meet his need. I don't think God has a need. The second meaning means to be favorable before me. Moses, go and tell Pharaoh to let my children go, that they may be favorable unto me. Serving God means coming to the altar and take what God has already prepared for you. Serving God doesn't mean that you are bringing your offering or you are coming to the altar to serve God, but rather to take away what he has prepared for you. That's why he told Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my children go so they may come to my altar and take their hearing and take their restoration and take everything and take increase and take wealth. Let my people go. That's why I said tonight we are crossing over to take over, because God has called us to come before him to take what he's already prepared for us. I don't know whether you are ready tonight, but for me tonight, I came expecting. You know, the problem is that we drive too much auto cars. They are not manual. You can't shift. But when you want to go as far as you want, you drive a manual and you shift the way you want it. So tonight, I want you to forget about the automatic where you drive, you just sit and cruise. No, let us drive the shift. Let us put in the shift. Let us command our spirit to shift from one level to another in Jesus' name. Somebody better shout unto the Lord and say hallelujah. Tell my children to leave Pharaoh. Go tell Pharaoh to let my children go. I don't care where you have been, my dear friends. I don't care whether you have been abused or misused, or whether you've been stepped on, or whether they took advantage of you. I'm here to tell you that we are crossing over to take over. Enough is enough. We have suffered enough. You have enough testimony, and tonight you are crossing over to take over in Jesus' name. Why did it take too long for God to come and take his children away from Egypt? Was God blind, or he never cared? Why is it that they had to cry and suffer and put under captivity, and they made them make bricks every single day? Why? I believe that's the same question that you have in your mind. Why, God? Why me? God, why am I going through this? God, why did I lose my house? Why, God? All over, about 1,000 people. Why only me was laid off? God, you really care? God, I'm paying my tithes and offering. Why? You don't change me, God. Why? I had the same question. 20 years ago, I lost my mother. I left home Friday. My mother died Saturday. She was buried Sunday. I came back Monday, and my best friend was nowhere to be seen. So I went and cried unto the Lord. When my mother died, I had just given my life to Jesus 3 years. I remember 3 months after the death of my mother, I went to bed hungry. I never had lunch nor dinner. 3 in the morning, I woke up. And I stepped out of the house and I sat on the veranda and I started to cry. And I questioned God. I said, God, why? I hated the people on the street, the homeless. I looked at them and I said, why God never took you? Just here homeless. I hated them. So I sat and I began to cry, literally crying. And that night I had God speaking to my spirit. He said, son, I'm here. And then I looked around because, I was crying for my mother. I said, son, I'm here. And God said, I will never leave you until the things that I spoke in your life come to pass. I never knew what it meant until I began to grow into the Word. And I remember one day I opened the Bible. I come to Genesis 28:15. When Jacob was running away from his family. Jacob was on the most wanted list of Esau. He was on the FBI of them. He was running away. And then in verse 15, Genesis 28, God looks at him and says, Jacob, I will not leave you. I'll protect you. Take you to the land where you're going and bring you back. And he said, I will never leave you until the things I spoke in your life come to pass. I'm here to prophesy over your life. I don't care where you have been. I don't care what you have done. God will never leave you until what he spoke come out of you. And I've looked at the course of 20 years. I see how God has been transforming my life from nothingness to having a ministry to getting my degrees, traveling nations. And tonight I'm here at the United Nations Church as a spiritual son that is announcing but God. When the right time comes, God will send Moses to Pharaoh to come and let you go. I don't care what is bounding you, but time is coming. And Moses is on the way to tell the fellow in your life to let you go. Somebody need to give God a clap offering. Somebody need to shout unto the Lord and say, Lord, thank you for my Moses, because he's on the way to tell a fellow in my life. There is a fellow in your life. There is a Pharaoh in your life. But when the time comes, Moses will come. I don't care how much Pharaoh will harden his heart. God will do whatever is possible to set you free in Jesus' name. When the time came in my family, no one went beyond